part of what we a part of what we've been doing is trying to bring to you educational opportunities that provide us with ways that we can improve our health and our outcomes. Today, we have a live testimony in our brother and friend, Greg Faulcon. Greg has made some changes in his life and is willing to share it. He's a friend and brother from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's an entrepreneur. He's been in the real estate business for years, 30 years, very successful. He's also got a trucking company. He's a very, very busy gentleman, but has taken time today to share with us what his journey has been like. Today is going to be a little different. It's not going to be a presentation. I'm just going to have a conversation with Greg and let him answer some questions and share what this transformation for better health outcomes has been for him. Okay, y'all ready? You can do a thumbs up, come off and say, I'm ready to go. All right.
Ready, born ready.
Okay, born ready. All right, I love that. All right, Greg, you can come off mute. We're going to start this conversation with, tell us about your, oh, hey, there's his son. Welcome.
All right, he's gone. Okay.
We love that. That's good.
Right,
that's why you do what you do, right?
Right. So I have the availability to spend time with him and take him places and do things all the time.
There you go. That's exactly right. So tell us about yourself first, your family, and who you are as a person.
Well, I'm born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm the youngest of four. I have two older brothers and an older sister. I say me and Mark, we've been best friends since seventh grade, so we're going on 40 years of knowing each other. Been doing a lot of different things. Entrepreneur, played sports here in Charlotte, played sports in college. Came home and I kind of stumbled into the real estate business. My mother was losing her house at the time I came home and she didn't know what to do. And I was fresh home from college, didn't know what I was going to do. And that's what propelled me into the real estate business. That she ended up giving me her house and I went to real estate school and got my license and ended up saving her house and over the years paid it off and gave it back to her free and clear. So that's one of my greatest accomplishments that I did was helping my mom out. And now she has a house free and clear that she doesn't have to worry about mortgage. It was some of the predatory lending back then that took advantage of her. You know, a lot of people in our community are doesn't have financial literacy or personal finance and get taken advantage of. So I kind of went back and that's been my passion for the last 30 years by being in real estate to help people out. First time home buyers, make sure they explain everything to them. They know what they're getting into. I do a little coaching online with personal finance, investing, stock market, crypto, how to run a trucking business, how to do real estate. A lot of things I've done, but 7 years ago, my father passed away from lung cancer. So that was tragic. He was my best friend and he was an entrepreneur, so we talked all the time. And after he passed away, I had struggled with my weight pretty much my whole life, up and down, roller coaster. And after he passed away, I kind of went into a little depression and I gained about 75 pounds over a 2-year period.
So stop right there. You said something that was important. You say you struggled with your weight up, off and on. That's something that many of us can relate to, right? Not everybody, but up and down weight, and you've been on that journey. So how long would you say you've been on that journey before the depression set in?
Only time depression really set in was after my father passed away. In my 20s, okay. I gained weight. I would be in shape 4 or 5 years. Something happened in my life, I'd be out of shape 4 or 5 years. I did that. My doctor got record. In my 20s, I did it. In my 30s, I did it. In my 40s, I did it. And now, back in my 50s, I've done it again. He told me when I started the journey a year ago, he was like, hey, Greg, you're over 50. It's going to be a whole lot harder this time than you ever did it before. But I had a Y factor this time. And
What
my
was that Y
son,
factor? What was that?
when I went to the doctor last year, I had blood in my urine.
Okay.
So that's what made me change. But before that, May was my dad's 6 year anniversary last year of his death. And he spoke to me and he told me that my son's mom is battling breast cancer. So he said, both of you guys can't be sick. I know you've been struggling with your weight and your health, but you gotta get yourself in shape. I'm okay. I love you. Get yourself together because you gotta be there for your family. And the next month I went for my annual checkup. And lo and behold, first time I had blood in my urine. And that started a new journey.
So what did it mean to you? I mean, it started a new journey, but what were you told other than you had blood in your urine? What was that about?
Well, they wanted to do all the tests. They did the bladder test, the kidney test, liver test, everything for cancer to make sure I didn't have any type of cancer. But I knew when I went to the doctor, I was having hesitation with my urination when it's time to go to the bathroom. So I knew something was going on about a month or two before. Really, right after my dad spoke to me in my dream, things started to happen shortly after that. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. So when they came back and told me I had the blood in the urine, and I had to go see the urologist, the kidney, bladder, liver, they did all these tests for the next 6 months. Um,
And and they did that for 6 months. Were you did you begin at that point during the time of that 6 months with this blood in the urine? Did you change your eating? Did you change anything to try to address that
yeah.
particular change in your life? What did you do?
Yeah, so what basically happened after my father, before I went to the doctor, I started getting up and I said, I got to go back to the gym. I played sports all my life. I got to get myself together. And I started back being active. But then once I went to the doctor and then they told me about the blood in my urine, is when I really started researching and doing a lot of different things. Because my brother's a prostate cancer survivor. My dad had prostate cancer. So it was in the family. And by having blood in my urine, I didn't want to go through that. So I started doing a lot of research online. The doctors wanted me to take these bunch of pills. And some of them I was okay with, some of them I wasn't. I was already on a CPAP machine. I already had high blood pressure pills. I was pre-diabetic, had cholesterol was high. I already had a bunch of issues. I was 285, 290 pounds at that time. So I just
So
made up about facing my life.
so just like that, you made an about face. Tell us about what about face means practically, from exercise, from waking up, sleeping longer,
Yeah,
changing your diet, talk about all the things that it takes, because people on this line are struggling with the same things. They're pre-diabetic, they have high
yeah,
cholesterol, hypertension, um, but we haven't all had our fathers come to us and say, we need you to be here. But there was something that was your wake up call. But
right.
how easy has it been, and what have you done to make these adjustments in your life? And then I want you to tell us how long it's been, and how you've been able to sustain this, and what your support network looks like. I'll go back
Right.
over that, but those are the things I
Okay.
want you to think about, okay?
Well, yeah, well, like I said, a lot of people do for vein and other people do it for a Y factor. So the Y factor was my son's mom, and then the blood in my urine was myself. So I had a poor diet, eating fast food, eating out all the time. I was drinking 8 Dr. Peppers a day. Mark always got on me about the sodas. I drank a lot of sodas, didn't drink hardly any water. A lot of us know what to do. We just don't
Mm.
do it. So that's the whole key ingredient, is the discipline and the consistency of going about doing this. So I literally, after he told me I had blood in the urine, the next day I stopped cold turkey drinking Dr. Peppers. That was my first thing to stop doing. Had a terrible headache for about a week. Because sugar is very addictive. It's more addictive than any drug, the sugar in our food and our sodas. So I started out with just cutting out the sodas. And then from researching online, I started eating just 3 meals a day, no snacks, no sugars, no sweets. Stop eating by 6 p.m. and not eating before 6 a.m. So if you do from
Can you
6
pause
p.m.,
there? Pause,
uh-huh,
pause, pause. I want people to hear this. You're doing things step by step, not all at once. But the
correct,
first thing you did was remove the sugar from your diet by stopping sodas,
correct,
correct?
correct.
Now, when you did that, you said you went through headaches for a week. How did you mitigate that? How did you keep it from being too bad? What did you do so people who may want to stop drinking sodas will know how you were able to get through that?
It was a gradual process. So again, going from 8 sodas to 0 sodas, I had to at least get one, open it, take a sip, just to kind of get rid of the headache and throw the soda away. And then eventually it was less and less of a sip until I finally was able to get through a whole day and manage the headache. And then it just gradually went away as I managed. But going cold turkey, I had to have something to kill that craving. So I would just sip a little bit and the headache would go away. Instead of drinking 8 sodas, I was just sipping like, I don't know, half a cup just to get something in my system and gradually cut it back over to that last week.
Okay. Very outstanding. Do you all hear this? This is somebody who went cold turkey on sodas, but recognized he couldn't do it by just eliminating it completely. He had a way to do it. So there is a way to do that. Okay. The next thing I heard, and thank you, Japs, for putting this in the chat so people are capturing it. I heard you say you stopped snacking and went to
Correct.
3 meals a day. Tell us about a typical day of what you might eat and how it drastically was modified with the 3 meals a day. You know, you went to 3 meals, no snacking. What were your snacks like in before this?
Oh, popcorn, potato chips, cookies, crackers, you name it, I snacked on it. I ate pretty much everything. Then, like I said, I started doing the research online with intermittent fasting and different ways to lose weight and control your hunger. And that's why all the people I looked online said, hey, don't go just completely 1 meal a day. You got to gradually work yourself up to this level. So I started, like, say, stop eating by 6. Of course, you're going to get a little hungry in the evening, but if you battle through the hunger pains and go to 6 in the morning, you just did a 12-hour fast. And that gives your body a chance to heal at night instead of processing food. So most of us eat late in the evening, then go lay down. Your body can't heal. It's so busy fighting, trying to digest the food you got on your stomach, you can't heal yourself. So
Very
that was
good.
one of the first steps I've done. And what I tell everybody that I talk to, start there. And then just once you master no snacks, no sugar, no sodas, for however long it takes you, gradually move your time frame back. So after 6 p.m., I started like that. I did a few weeks, a month or two. I was still eating regular food, but on with no snacks and no junk food. So then I really had to cut back on the quality of food I was eating and eat better food. And
Can
I
I
went to
ask a
eating more real
question,
food. Yes,
Greg? Did you in did you engage? I know you said you looked online, you found intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting may not be what some people who are diabetic can do, may not be
right.
everything that what somebody can do. Did you consult a nutritionist or did you go back to your physician and tell him this is what I'm doing, and did he support you or anything like that?
No, he had been telling me for years I need to do a Mediterranean diet. That's what he
Okay.
had been saying all these years, vegetables, fruits, nuts, berries. He's always preached that to me. And that's what I went to, mainly eating nuts, fruits, berries, salmon, and just grilled chicken. I cut out all fried foods. I cut out all fast food and stuck to basic foods that you can eat every day that you can control your diet with. So then I went to better salad dressing. When I did my salad, I will put pecans, walnuts, tomatoes, whatever you like is fruit wise. If you keep food to a single ingredient, it's pretty healthy for you. Most of the things we eat have multiple ingredients in it we can't even pronounce or spell to even know what it is. So you stick to single ingredients in foods, then you know it's pretty healthy for you.
So say that a different way for me, Greg. Are you
Okay.
saying that um, if a food has combinations in it, I need to leave it alone? Is that what you're saying? Or are you, if it has xanthine oxidase, da 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 in it, then I don't need to have it, something like
Correct.
that.
Well, all the processed foods, your body is having a hard time processing processed food because it's not real food. It's
Okay.
man-made food. If you
Okay.
notice, most food is man-made. It's not from the earth. It's not from a tree. It's something they made in a lab or a factory. So your body's having a hard time processing the food. And like I say, I'm a living proof that once I cut out all the fast food and processed food and started eating only real food, my weight came right off.
So
I
tell
didn't
me
have
how
any problems.
tell me how you manage not driving by McDonald's and stopping in there and getting that French fry. Tell me how Mark can stop not going by Chick-fil-A. Tell me how.
Especially when I got a 13-year-old son that likes Chick-fil-A and Bojangles. So I have to take
Yeah.
him by it, but I wouldn't get anything. So a
Okay.
lot of the times I do a lot of meal prep. So I tell a lot of people the easiest way to do this is do meal prep. If you do meal prep with the right food, your salad, your vegetables, your fruits, your sweet potatoes. Take a day a week and spend some time doing meal prep. Get glass containers, put your meals in the refrigerator or take them with you. And then when you do get hungry, you already have the right food with you, and then you won't stop at a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A to get food. It takes some discipline to get everything together.
Are you are a praying man, right?
Correct.
That discipline is something we have to ask the Lord for. So I'm just, it is not, it's easy to say it takes discipline. If it were that
Correct.
easy, we'd all be doing the right things and it would
Right.
be okay. So um, thank you for sharing that part of that. It does take discipline, and that's probably a very key ingredient that you are sharing about what your journey took. And you were motivated by what your father said, you were motivated by your son's mother, and you were motivated because of what happened in your life.
Correct.
But and you had been told all along by the physician, Mediterranean diet will help you do that. So tell
Correct.
us, right, this, here you are today. How many pounds have you lost?
90 pounds.
Y'all all need to be clapping. And
I
and
I
and, and
I,
I mean,
I yeah.
that's a blessing. Now, tell us about what that 90-pound loss has done for your life. I'm going to ask you to start with your labs
Mm-hmm.
because I'm sure you're still going to, and tell us about the cholesterol you started with, tell us about the high blood pressure you started with, and tell us about the pre-diabetes that you started with in this conversation. Share that part of your journey.
Okay, well, I just went well, let me back up. I went back to the doctor after all the lab work for the blood in my urine.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing herbs and other things to help with the blood in my urine and my swollen prostate. They at the end of the day, they said I had just a swollen prostate. So after 6 months, I went from 290 pounds to 220 pounds. I lost 70 pounds in 6 months from June to December. So when I went back to the doctor in December after all the lab and all the tests for my kidney and prostate came back, everything came back cleared. All I had was swollen prostate, and even the blood in my urine had cleared up in 6 months from changing my diet and doing the right herbs. So after 6 months, the doctor took me off of the high blood pressure pills. No longer needed a CPAP machine. My cholesterol was back to normal and no more pre-diabetic. But since December, I've trimmed down even another 30 pounds, 20 pounds since December. I just went last week for my annual checkup and everything is normal now.
Greg, that's phenomenal. That's what, thank you for sharing. And the reason that you are on this call with us is because you're willing to share this journey and your story with us. And it is not somebody on a commercial. It is not
Correct.
somebody that you can't touch. It is somebody whose son just got in his car, picked him up from training, and is going home. It is real. He is real, and what he's sharing is true. So that with support, who was your, other than yourself, how did your son support you? What other support did you have? Tell us
Well,
about that, you know?
well, I did it with, of course, me and Mark, we talk daily. So Mark has been a huge support with his company and everything he does. Has been a huge support. But my brother also that had the prostate cancer, when I told him I was changing everything, he was never overweight, but he wanted to get in better condition. So he was my accountability partner. So every day we talk about what we're doing and what are we eating. He's actually more in tune in this than I am now. He's more deep embedded and nutrition, and he baked cookies from natural ingredients now with no sugar. He does a whole lot. His wife told him he got to get out the kitchen because he's in the kitchen more now in the last year than he's been in the kitchen in 32 years of marriage. So she's like, get out the kitchen. So he's been my accountability partner. So we talk every day. We measure up. We go over our weight. We go over what we eat. We eat the same things. And we're basically trimmed all the processed food out of our diet. I don't eat any processed food now at all. I feel fantastic. I tell everybody I'm 53 years old. So I don't know. I don't remember what 30 felt like because you were 30 and you was in the moment, but this has to be close to it because I feel fantastic. I have no more joint pains, no more aches, no more ankle hurting. Like I said, I do a lot of ginger, a lot of turmeric, cayenne pepper. I do a lot of herbs every day, different teas, green teas, different things you could drink. Eat a lot of fruit, veggies. Is if I basically now have gone to if it's not grown out the earth or grown on a tree, I pretty much don't eat it. The only meat I eat now is salmon. Other than that, I don't eat any fried food, no fast food or anything.
That's do you miss it?
No, I don't miss it because I love the way I look. I love the way I feel. And my why factor is taking care of my health. My health is more important than anything right now. So, and you still can get other foods that taste just like say my brother's making cookies that taste like real cookies, but it has no sugar in it. He's
Right.
making it from dates and almonds and walnuts. It just takes a little more preparation to make it this way than stopping by a fast food or stopping where and buying some. That's why I say the meal prep comes into play because if you don't meal prep, you're gonna stop at a fast food and get the quick, easy food. It's just what's gonna happen. It's convenient, it's easy for you. So I tell everybody I talk to, if you do meal prep, it will help out a lot. And it's a process. It's gonna take time. Like I tell everybody, I started with the 3 meals a day, and then I gradually moved it back. I work out in the morning. I tell people you can just walk a mile a day. Whatever you can do it every day. Just do it consistently. You're not gonna do what I'm doing, but start with something, and you'll see a gradual progression in your weight loss and you're feeling better. After 90 days of doing something consistent, you definitely will feel better.
I appreciate that. I mean, accountability partner, I would like everybody on the call to take that into consideration when trying to make a change. Whatever that change is, large, small, do we all have someone we can count on or call brother, sister, friend, somebody that we can have as accountability partners? That is a key. Somebody that will, one day you're up, they might not be down, you can be there for each other, encouraging and to do what you need. But I am so impressed with the discipline and the willingness that you're showing to share that with us, to tell us what it's taking. And everybody should be thrilled with what you're dealing with, new health just health and wellness. No aches, no pains, the concern for your cholesterol, the concern. Now, there are some of us who may have familial factors about
Mm-hmm.
things. We're predisposed. There are things that I'm hearing you say, we may not have it all go away, but we may have healthier lifestyles because of what we may be able to do to adjust the things that we are doing. I'm going to stop and let the group ask you a question or two, if they have any. And after my final question for this is, what do you think made this the most successful? Not what was your motivation, but what has made it so that you're sticking to this and continue to be successful?
Like I say, it's the why factor. It's the why
Okay.
that I know that I have to live for other people, that I'm responsible for other people and my health. And just going through the journey, I feel like the guy told me, one of the guys I follow online, he said, you think you feel fantastic, but now you feel normal. You've been feeling so bad for years, you forgot what normal feels like. And now you're feeling normal again. So I just tell everybody I'm feeling normal. Now when people see me, first thing they haven't seen me in a while, they ask me what drug I'm taking. I'm taking Ozempic, what I'm taking. I'm like, I'm not taking anything, but that's the first thing they want to ask. And I just tell them I'm just eating real food. I'm eating reasonable meals. I'm eating healthy food and I'm exercising on a daily basis. Like I've helped probably in the last year 20, 30 people that I know. I'm in a car club, in a motorcycle club, and just friends I know. Everybody wants to know what I'm doing. And I just explain to them, like I say, start with the 3 meals and just gradually work from there and get some exercise. You can walk a half a mile, just do it every day, or a mile, do it every day. Whatever you can do, just try and do it on a daily basis to be consistent. That's consistency is the key.
Accountability, consistency, and discipline.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Mark, for being a trusted, accountable partner to him. And I am thankful for your why, but I don't want us all to have those kind of whys. Here's a gentleman who's sharing with you right now that there are things that we can do to improve healthy outcomes. It just takes a mind shift and a change.
Yeah.
Questions? Yeah.
Well, I'll start off one. Let me bring my mic back in here if you all can hear me. So as Greg mentioned, I grew up with Greg, have a lot of respect for him. What you're seeing is a person who is mature and clearly a leader in his life, who makes a decision and find the courage to stick with it. There's a lot though that he hasn't shared that I think would be a tremendous value to everyone here. I was looking at the list of names and it seemed to be that everyone is female. And, there are some differences in how female and male will go about this conversion. So if you don't see the same progress at the same speed or what have you, do not be dismayed. But the first choice, and what you've heard Greg saying, is the why. Find out that thing that's going to motivate you to believe that your lifestyle should be different. You notice that he talked about how he lives now. It wasn't about him saying, I'm not eating these things, I'm punishing myself, I'm keeping them from myself, but my life is different. I would like to ask this question because obviously can go on, but Greg, if you could talk a little bit about two things. How did your change, who you are today, manifest in your physicality? Does it impact, have you noticed any cognitive improvement, any improvement in your eyesight, any improvement in your sexual function, any improvement in your ability to sleep? You know, what is at the end of the rainbow for a person that converts back to what we should be?
Hmm. So this goes with the sleeping part. I was on a CPAP machine. I had to use the CPAP every night to get sleep because I wasn't sleeping at night. I was snoring and stopped breathing. And I fought it for years, but I was exhausted. I was exhausted every day because sleeping, then with a swollen prostate, I was getting up peeing at night, using the bathroom. So everything just has completely reversed. So now, no snoring at night. I don't stop breathing at night, and the CPAP machine is gone. That's all contribute to my new lifestyle, how I'm eating, exercising, and working out. That's all contributed. That's what the doctor told me. Everything I researched online told me the same thing. So once you do all that, a lot of your ailments will start going away because you're not feeding your body the poison of the processed food that's causing a lot of your problems.
Was there any impact? Do you feel sharper mentally? Do you feel more stamina? Do you feel like your testosterone is higher? Any of those things?
Everything's different. Like I said, I feel like I'm 30. If this is what 30 felt like, yeah, I feel amazing. I don't know how you don't remember when you was 30 how you felt because you was in the moment and you felt so great. But this has to be it because I mean, I work out 2 hours now. I mean, again, I started with 15 minutes, gradually moved my time up. I feel great, no aches, no pains. Everything's working fine. I have no sexual problems. Everything's great. I have no complaints. Sleeping fine. I don't know what else to say. It's just my whole life has changed completely around.
Congratulations,
Great.
bro.
Yeah, congratulations. And Mark, you mentioned women, etc., on the call, and it could be different. And I have spoken to a nutritionist and working on this journey and going through it. And when you said intermittent fasting and using it for postmenopausal women, intermittent fasting is not always the best key, is what
Hmm.
we've been told. So even though it was good for you, I'm not saying don't. You do need to reset your um, pancreas and the insulin and things within your body and make that work, and it does. But I if you have a trusted nutritionist, holistic, like Teresa, who can talk with you like the last time about things, I think it's a great opportunity to find out what works for you. But I can guarantee you a Mediterranean diet is definitely going to do something different for you, period,
Correct.
because of that other. So that's excellent.
If you think about it, Lisa, and I won't get on the soapbox because that's my biggest fear here. I'm so excited for the new life my brother's embrace. I've known him a long time, and it really swells my heart for him to be in this walk of life. But if I may, for a moment, just tie what we're talking about to some of our spirituality, right? Many of us have gone to church and followed our spiritual leaders, however it be Catholic or Islam or Christianity, for decades. And unfortunately, some of us have noticed that we have not made the progress that maybe is potentially available to us, despite having the God of all gods, the Lord of all lords on our side, who would encourage us to strive, to do better, to do what's right, if and when you follow principles that are good. And it ultimately has a long-term impact on your overall life and you progress. Doing good consistently by the hour equals, at the end of the day, a full day of having done good, right? So by that, I mean, when we are following through our spiritual journey, or when we're following through our just normal life, awareness of what we intend to be, who we are, and thinking of it in the moment. So I raise that only to say this. For those of us, and Lisa said it earlier, and she alluded to it in the moment when she's talking about some conditions that may not allow intermittent fasting. I encourage you to consider two things. What we call fasting was actually the natural state of man. We're not supposed to eat at all-you-can-eat restaurants and wait until the food goes down, even though we're full, so we can go back through the line. We're not supposed to brag about how much we ate, particularly in 2024, even in dating. I know most of us are still dating our spouses, or maybe dating still in with other people, not necessarily a spouse, but you're maybe still in the dating scene. If a brother, in this case, because I think I see all women, is trying to impress you by, hey, I'm gonna take you out to eat, that's not impressive. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I hear, I'm gonna take you out to eat, I'm gonna take, as if what he's giving you is food, is this greatest thing. And I think we live in a society, I say that to say this, we live in a society that everything you touch, everywhere you go, every time you turn on a device, is pumping information in your head. And the whole walk with Christ is to keep our minds stayed on him. If Christ is your religious foundation, or wherever your religious foundation, most of them insist that you keep your mind focused on it. And allow it to guide your life, keeping you focused on what you're doing, keeping you in the moment, keeping you thinking present, and keeping you at peace. And when you do that, you may find that food becomes less of a driver in your life. You're not waiting to the next moment you could put something in your mouth. You're busy about whatever calling on your life. You're busy about your job. Among the things that I've seen in Greg over the decades that I've known him, he's always been driven. You don't become that successful in business without driving your businesses, right? But then when he, just like what you have heard, when he turned his mind to himself and started being more cognizant of his health, you see these results. So I just had to share that. Hopefully that resonate with one or two of you, just to help maybe give you a little bit of motivation to say, man, I'm 45 years old and I can't intermittent fast like that. I'm diabetic, as Lisa said earlier. And as what Greg was saying is, it's not necessarily that you starve yourself from food, but maybe that you eat something different. So I just hope that in some way this has touched your life, and it has mine, because he has enhanced my life, and watching him is motivating for me to see my brother doing this. And so I'll shut up from there, but thank you all for the moment.
I'm gonna say this too, Lisa. I'm gonna send you, it's three ladies I follow online that are
Okay.
nutritionists, and they speak from a woman's perspective on the proper way to do intermittent fasting from a woman about menopause. They go through all the stuff that women go through and how to intermittent fast. It's three ladies I follow. I send you their names, and you can go follow them on social media. And they're doctors and nurse practitioners that they break down that they're getting to the point now that they don't believe in medicine. They believe more in herbs and healing the body. And they go talk about what you just said. Women are different than men. When you do intermittent fast, you got to do it a little different, but they still break it down for you how the woman's supposed to do it, even during menopause, everything that goes on with a woman from their perspective.
That's excellent. And what we will do when you send it to us, Greg, is we will have it posted on our website. And when we do the follow-up, we will have those links added. Japs will send it out with our replay to the people that we send out this message to. So that is great. And I offer, because I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I am encouraged, and I'll take an accountability partner on here if somebody wants one, and we can walk this journey of clean, healthy eating and lifestyles together. This has been for me very, very, very warm because you are great. Uh-oh. Hey, I love that. Did you give up that glass of wine, Greg?
I'm not a drinker.
Oh, okay.
I never drank or smoked. So those two things I didn't have to worry about giving up.
So I hear you.
But let
We
me tell
we
you this, Lisa. I will tell you this, like everybody else. If you eat clean 95% of the time, I do eat cake every blue moon. I do eat sweets here and there. I don't eat just everything pure all the time. You can have a cheat day or cheat time to indulge, but it's in moderation. As long as you keep it in moderations, you okay.
great. There was another something in the chat that was basically what you listed ginger and turmeric as herbs and some other things. If you don't mind, take a moment now to tell us about the herbs that you use and how you use them, if you don't mind.
Well, ginger and turmeric is very powerful. Ginger will help with nausea, inflammation. Turmeric do the same thing. I do pomegranate. I do beets. I tell everybody, don't do beet powder. Go get the real beets. Cut the beets up and put it in a blender or smoothie, and you won't taste the beets. Everybody talking about how bad beets taste.
I
So
like
I have
beef.
so I have a smoothie I make on a regular basis with the actual lemon peel. You know, when you cut open a lemon, well, in the morning time, I just tell you what I do real quick. In the morning, I do a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, two fresh lemons and limes cut and squeeze it in a 16-ounce glass of water, apple cider vinegar before I go to the gym. Now, the cayenne pepper helps with your blood flow in your arteries. The lemon and lime helps suppress your appetite, and that helps you go work out. So then I do the green tea, I do willow bark, I do stinging nettle. It's a whole bunch of different herbs. I have probably about 20, 30 herbs that I do on a regular basis. But the smoothie, I do ginger, turmeric, not the powder. I go get the actual root and cut a piece up and grind it up in there along with pomegranate, beets, the lemon peel. Then I add fruit like pineapple, strawberries, blueberries, raspberry, whatever fruit you like, and blend it. And that'll be my smoothie. That'll be lunch. If you drink that for lunch, that'll fill you up. All the fruit is gonna do is make you go use the bathroom.
Okay. Um, if we ask you to send us those two smoothie recipes, would you do that for us, please?
I have them on text thread. I've sent them to about 50 people. I already
All
got it
right.
text and typed out.
That is great.
That's real easy
People
to
may
send
be
it.
interested and
Right.
to know what you've done. Any other questions in the chat? I didn't see anything else pop, so
Lisa,
any other
I
yes.
just have a comment. What I find is that when I go to my doctors, even specialists, they may make a diagnosis, but very, very, very seldom do they talk nutrition. That's just my doctor. And I find this very, very helpful. I'm thinking they may look at you and say, oh, you're a good weight, so you must be eating right. That is absolutely not necessarily the truth.
Correct. Well, if you look, most doctors don't take any classes in nutrition. From what I've researched and the doctors I've spoke to, they don't take any classes in nutrition. I just have a different type of doctor that believes in nutrition and healthy eating. He's in private practice. So he's not with the major hospitals or the major facilities where he's rushing in and rushing you out. He actually spends time with you and talk to you. And he believes in the Mediterranean diet and eating. Like I said, I just went to go see him last week for my annual checkup. And when he walked in the room, he sat down and took his glasses off. Because again, last year I was 285. Wednesday I weighed in at 196. So I've
Bravo.
lost a person.
Yeah.
So he was completely just amazed and said, Gregory, you did it. I'm so proud. I told him everything I was doing, everything he told me, and the other things I implemented. The things I'm doing may not work exactly for everybody. You may have to tweak it to something that fits you. You got to find your own rhythm, your own lane, but you got to get outside of this processed food and start eating real food. I tell everybody, if you're growing out the ground and growing on a tree, one single ingredient, no more than two, more than likely it's healthy for you. a lot of stuff we can't pronounce it. You read the label on the back, you don't know what the stuff is in there.
Mhm. This is great. This is a great follow-up to Teresa's message and sharing last month. So thank you, Greg, for sharing. I'm going to, if there are no other questions, I'm going to conclude with this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this leads us into vacation. So we will not have a call in August. And when we come back in September, we're kicking off with Cancer Prevention Month is what is taking place in September. And we're going to have a speaker who's going to talk about appropriate screenings for us that we need, men and women, and what they are, what they're for, why we want them, who needs them, what's ages, that kind of discussion. There's nurse practitioner that I'm going to bring on to the call for that, Cynthia Thompson, and she's going to talk with us in September. So let folk know we're going to continue to work on our healthy living and healthy outcomes and understanding and being empowered so that we can do the things that we need to do for ourselves, but encouraging one other person every day to do the same thing. That's all it takes. Just one additional person to share that with. So thank you, Greg, very much. We appreciate your sharing your journey, being a motivator, inspiring, and giving us aspirations to move forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, everybody have a good evening.
Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lisa.
you.